I know when he got to the White House in 2017, there was a kind of major kerfluffle about this because he didn't like to eat in the dining room. He liked to eat in his bedroom.
He liked to eat in his bedroom?
Yeah, in the bed, I suppose.
So wait a minute. In the White House, he eats in his bedroom, on his bed?
Yes. When he originally got there, it really sounded like he was, like the feral child.
Michael.
Joanna.
So...
Back again.
Here we are. I thought today we could focus on Trump's relationship with food.
Since it is Thanksgiving, that would be a good choice.
It's Thanksgiving, and I imagine, is he having turkey? What's going on inside his head at Mar-a-Lago? Is it an unlimited, all-you-can-eat buffet? What is his Thanksgiving dinner?
Yes. First, well, I don't know. So we're going to have to just imagine this. But I have a sneaking suspicion the Thanksgiving dinner will be a lunch spread, and it might be at the golf club. The golf club is not Mar-a-Lago. The golf club is about 15 minutes away, but that's where the buffets happen. Trump loves a buffet, and the staff, the Trump people point out. They love to point out this is not like a hotel buffet, which have been really devalued over the years.
Right.
This is like the old-fashioned buffet. Everything. They say the stations. They refer to the stations with some reverence.
So what are there? There's like hams, steaks.
There's the hams, the pork station, the beef station, and the lobster station. So you can get your own individual lobster. I'm channeling the way people talk about this. I mean, they speak of this as a real kind of achievement to be able to go to the buffet at the golf club.
Well, and it speaks to a certain lavishness and luxury lifestyle that we thought of in the sort of 60s and 70s.
When the buffet was before the buffet just became a lot of steam trays.
Right.
They say that no steam trays.
They say that no steam tray. And what is the steam? The steam tray is the thing underneath it that keets it warm.
Yeah, it's just that, in most of these places, your Marriott buffets across the country is just, Marriott is not a sponsor, are they?
No, they're not, but we'd like you to be a sponsor, Marriott. So if you're listening,
and if you were a sponsor, I wouldn't be saying this about your rotten buffets.
Truthfully, he might, but actually we could do something positive about your buffets.
But anyway, it's a lot of overheated food, not at the golf club.
Okay, so at the golf club, it's fresh meat
it's
stations.
It's all made for you.
Okay. Oh, it's made for you.
Right there.
Okay, and so you could have an omelette if you wanted.
You can have anything.
Okay, there's an omelette station.
Under the sun.
Right.
And you know how big the shrimps are?
They're the biggest in the world. Big shrimps.
Fantastic,
big shrimps.
Yes.
Tell me about the food at Mar-a-Lago, because I know you've eaten there. You've eaten there with Trump and Melania, which I'm so envious about.
Me sitting between them.
And then you never got your drink.
With my hand out, just trying to get that drink, which never, ever came. Although Trump said, "You want a drink?" Yeah.
I need a drink.
And then that's it. Do you want a drink? Yes, but no, it never came. But the menu is steak and steak and steak and steak. There's the
and he likes the New York strip.
New York strip, yes. But there's the fillet. There's the steak nibs. I don't even know what that is.
Steak nibs, little bits of steak that have fallen off other bits of steak.
And
what about a T-bone? Is there a T-bone?
All variety. I actually like a T-bone. I don't remember that if there was a T-bone. I had the fillet.
And was it good?
No,
I mean,
I
do
didn't.
they have great ingredients? Is it sort
No,
of organic
no,
meat? Is
no,
it freshly flown in from?
No. It's just like a menu from, it's a 1965 menu.
Right.
And
So what does that mean? Prawn cocktail, steak,
yeah, big shrimp.
big shrimp, Black Forest Gatto. What's the dessert?
Pies.
Pies. I love the way you say that
big,
derisively.
No,
pies. I love pies.
It says, but there's a kind of like that coconut cream pie.
Right.
They like them. They like them very high and very big.
Right.
And then they make a big point of, look at that pie. You got to eat all that. Ha ha. And I'm trying to think. There were some other. Yeah, and there's a piece of grilled fish, but a lonely piece of grilled fish. You don't want the fish, do you?
Right.
I mean, you're a pansy if you take the fish. Even though you're by the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America.
The Gulf of America. And what does Melania eat? Can you remember what she ordered?
I can't. That's
Michael,
yeah.
details.
Yeah, no, I failed on that. But there's so much happening. I mean, a lot happening that you're trying to focus on in addition to getting the drink.
So does Trump himself have disordered eating?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say if orderly eating is a somewhat of a broad palate, he certainly does. I mean, it's incredibly limited. I mean, it's basically limited to beef.
And does he have any vegetables? So he loves burgers and he loves steak.
Yeah, I've never heard a reported vegetable. But I know when he got to the White House in 2017, there was a kind of a major kerfluffle about this because he didn't like to eat in the dining room. He liked to eat in his bedroom.
He liked to eat in his bedroom?
Yeah, in the bed, I suppose.
So wait a minute. In the White House, he eats in his bedroom, on his bed?
Yes, well, maybe he's gotten, I don't know, I'm not up to date on this, so perhaps he's been more socialized. I mean, he's had a lot of time now. But when he originally got there, it really sounded like he was, like the feral child.
But also maybe he was exhausted by the day, or he was overwhelmed by people that he didn't know, and so he retreated to
possibly
his room with a comfort burger.
Yeah, and it was always a burger. And then he wanted, actually, his preference was to send out for the burger. And the White House, the Secret Service, then apparently, no, you gotta, we cook our food here.
And this is
that was a tussle about that.
So serious question, given that we know of at least 2 attempts on his life, and then obviously there was the Iranian threat on him. Does he ever worry? Does he have a food tester?
Well, his food tester is Mr. McDonald. Is one of the reasons. And this fact has been out there, but I want to claim credit for it. This was my scoop. I've had a lot of Trump food scoops, including scoops of his ice cream, which I've also had. But this scoop was that he likes, one of the reasons that he likes McDonald's is that all his food is prepackaged and nobody's hands touch it. Therefore, it's much safer. The safer risk of him being poisoned and or random germs. It is food untouched by human hands.
So is he actually a little nervous of eating the food in the White House because he thinks people might have poisoned it? Like Putin has a food tester.
No, I would say it's really more about his palate.
Right.
The truth is, if you have a steady diet of fast food, which is high in salt and sugar, it becomes more difficult to eat, good food, healthy food.
Because you lose the taste for it.
It doesn't.
So when you were reporting from the White House for your first book, and you sat there for 7 months, What was lunch like? Was stuff coming in from McDonald's? What was the sort of routine?
No, I mean, there's a cafeteria in the White House, which everybody uses, and then Trump, there is a little dining room off of the Oval Office, and I mean, I never had lunch with him there, but I assume that what he got his hamburger there. Which is the other interesting thing, is that often he would have 2 hamburgers a day. So you have a hamburger for lunch and a hamburger for dinner.
And what about his team that's working around him? Are they eating healthier food? I mean,
No, and there's a thing about that I mean, there's an awareness that part of the job is
eating fast food.
Yeah, you're not going to get. I mean, it's kind of dicey. I mean,
Right,
if you have any sense of what you should be eating, this is like a minefield that you're not going to nap. You're going to get blown up.
Right. I mean, even RFK Jr., who claims that he won't eat this stuff, was eating it on the plane at the beginning, along with Elon.
Yeah. No. I mean, that is the fast food is the menu. There is nothing else.
And what about his relationship with alcohol?
Well, he says he doesn't. I think he says he has never had a drink, and I think that's. I mean, I don't know. He may have had a drink, but he certainly doesn't drink. And as I say, I'm trying to get that glass of wine
At Mar-a-Lago, and it never comes.
Without any luck whatsoever.
And does Melania drink?
I don't know. Good question, though.
You could ask her.
I could.
You could definitely ask her.
We could serve a nice bottle of wine at deposition.
And what about Trump steak and Trump vodka? It's odd that he would do Trump vodka and not drink.
Well, I think if somebody is going to buy it, he's fine
he's
with
gonna
that.
make it.
And I think if the vodka is cheap enough and the markup is high enough.
Well, sadly, it's no longer available.
Sadly, yes.
And neither is Trump steak.
Yeah. And Trump wines, too, I think.
Well, yeah, Trump champagne. There was Trump champagne.
There was a lot of, there was a lot of wine, I think, that was, terrible, just ghastly.
And sadly no longer available.
Yeah.
Went the way of Trump University.
No, and then
Trump water.
We replaced it with Trump country.
How is it that Morgan Spurlock, who did that documentary Supersize Me about eating burgers every day, died very young, and Donald Trump, who seems to exist on a junk food diet that all doctors would say this is terrible for you, seems to have defied all logic?
Well, I mean, this is random. In other words, he has not maximized his chances for longevity as we do, with no guarantee, by the way, that we will realize that longevity.
Well, he may outlive all of us.
Yes, and he is one of those people, of whom there are many who defy the odds, because the odds are actually pretty.
What are they? Odd?
No, they're probably already written. It's already written.
Okay, it's already written. Oh, interesting that you think that.
Yeah, well,
okay.
it's written in your DNA. That's what it's going to be, and his DNA is apparently keeping him alive despite McDonald's.
Okay, so he likes McDonald's. He likes pizza.
So during the trial, I was particularly fascinated by this. So the trial in New York, Stormy Daniels, which lasted 6 weeks, and he had to be in court 4 days a week. So the court started at, I think, 9:30 in the morning, and then there was the lunch break, and the lunch break took place for him and his legal team. That took place in one of the break rooms. These break rooms are really, really dismal, and kind of a long room, a table, and then at the end of the room, which was just 2 feet from the table itself, there was the bathroom, the awkward bathroom.
Right. This was the bathroom that he didn't like other people using.
Yeah. No. The one guy who did somehow ridiculously use it, then he was expelled from the team. Anyway, Kenneth. But so they had a fixed menu for 4 days. So the 4 days a week were pizza, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and Jimmy John's.
What is Jimmy John's?
It's actually a big national chain, and one of his favorites. McDonald's is his favorite, but he likes Jimmy John's, and they're around the country. There are not too many in Manhattan.
And is this true that McDonald's is actually his favourite, or is this one small performance and actually the reason he's managed to live as long as he has on such a terrible diet is because he's really eating, salmon and salad in his bedroom?
No. This is
really true.
This is genuine. Yes. It really is. He is a McDonald's devotee.
Okay, and of course he had that brilliant moment during his campaign where he suddenly leaned out of a drive-through and it was, surprise, Donald Trump is serving you your McDonald's. It was such a good moment.
No, and it is. And maybe that is, most of the country eats McDonald's.
Right,
so
and McDonald's are delicious, just not every day.
Do you think so? You want to know something?
I haven't had one for 40 years, but last time I had it, it was great.
I'm going to tell you something,
what?
which will exclude
I know what you're going to
me
say.
From a political career. I've never ever in my life eaten at a McDonald's.
Have you had a McDonald's
No.
in a drive-through?
No,
right.
never.
You've
no,
never had a McDonald's.
I've never eaten. I've never had their McDonald's food. So McDonald's, which has.
Is that because you used to live on the Upper East Side and now you live in the Hamptons and there are no McDonald's in the Hamptons?
Well, yeah, but I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, fair.
And I remember I go back. So there was on the highway in New Jersey, Route 46, I believe. In New Jersey, it's the entirety. It's at least 60% of all conversations are about highways. Route 46, you take 46. You did 208. What about 17?
Are the other parts of the conversation about the people who've come from there? Because it was William Carlos Williams. Who are the other people that came from?
Allen
Patterson?
Ginsberg, but it's
Allen
not.
Ginsberg.
It's not. No, not too much. Mostly highways. But there was a McDonald's, Route 46, I believe, that said over 5 million Big Macs sold. 5 million. What are we now at? 5 trillion?
Right.
So my whole life has been the story of the expansion of McDonald's, but I've never had one.
Okay, that's weird that you've never had one. I'm going to bring you one in and make you eat it live on YouTube.
And I actually told Trump that I never had a McDonald's.
What did he say?
Ignore.
He doesn't care about you.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you. He doesn't care about you. It's all about him.
No.
Okay. So he loves McDonald's. He loves pizza. He loves Jimmy John's. He also likes sweets.
Not just sweets, candy.
Okay. I'm saying sweets in the English sense of the word. So meaning, those things that you have in your pockets and you have people have in bowls here.
No, and it says he sits at his desk and he says, "Bring me the poison."
This was a scoop of yours.
Yes, and then he comes in, and then the people rush in in a big bowl, and it's Starburst, Hershey's miniatures. I'm not even sure what that is.
Those little tiny bars.
Laffy Taffy, Milky Ways, and Tootsie Rolls.
Have you had any of those?
I have not.
You've never had a Tootsie Roll?
Oh, when I was a child, yes, and not since.
Well, that's what's interesting. These are childish sweets, right? These are childish candies.
Yeah, candy.
Why isn't he
candy.
He's the president of the United
Candy
States.
is for children.
Right.
I mean, just think about his
It's
teeth.
like Halloween. Oh, I don't want to think about his teeth. But he seems to have nice, clean teeth. Well, obviously, because they're capped within an inch of their life.
Yeah, but no. I mean, how do you eat? I can't. Could you eat a candy now?
Well, I can eat lilac chocolate candies, which are a delicious place in the village, which just do heavenly chocolate. But
a Milky Way, could you take a big tear out of a Milky Way?
Well, We have Milky Ways in our snack room. Actually, I lie. We have Snickers, and I like to get them and cut them up into tiny little pieces, and then I eat them slowly over the period of a week. But does he have the coconut pie at Mar-a-Lago? Does he eat those kind of desserts?
You know, I was waiting. I remember this because I was kind of focused on this to see if he would eat the dessert. And I saw the pie in front of him, but I didn't see him take a bite of it. Now, this could also be because he's talking the whole time. I mean, remember, everybody's kind of coming up to him. It's like he's at the wedding table, and he's going blah, 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 blah. I mean, amazing, nonstop. So I don't know how he could really eat.
So does he eat breakfast?
That I don't know. Never had a breakfast with Donald Trump.
Because I've read that he doesn't eat breakfast and that he powers through with Diet Coke and coffee until sort of mid-afternoon.
No,
or late
and the amount of
afternoon.
Diet Coke is you would think that alone would have felled
wasn't
him.
that one of your stories?
Bingo, yes.
Right, the
it
Diet
was.
Coke button
Yes.
under the desk.
Yes.
What is that?
On the desk.
On the
red
desk.
button. Diet Coke. And they rush it in.
Is that true? I
Yeah.
always assumed that was made up.
No.
So he literally has a button that's
Yeah, and he
powered
pushes it. And he's always pushing it.
I've never seen it on his desk. Can you see it on his desk?
Well, I actually don't know. Is it on the Resolute desk? Was in Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, okay. So,
But it may be. I think it is on the Resolute desk.
Right.
Yeah.
and then some poor flack comes in with a. And does he like ice or not ice?
Not ice, as I recall.
Okay, I'm going to.
Straight up. He likes hot dogs, too. The golf course is the hot dog. When he's out on the golf course, hot dogs, too.
He has 2 hot dogs.
Yeah.
And does he have mustard or ketchup?
I mean, Steve Bannon once described, he says it goes in all at once.
Lordy. All right.
So people around him are aware of this. Also, the staff, by the way, when you're out on the plane, you go wherever you're going, and then you get back on the plane. And then there's always a fast food box on your seat.
When you get back.
Yeah, this is looked at as kind of like a little perk of the job.
A little treat that you get chicken fingers or
Yes,
something.
exactly.
Right. All right. So I pulled up some state dinner menus, and I want you to decide if he would like it or not like it. So this is a dinner that they had in Trump 1, 2018, and this is for Emmanuel Macron. And the first course, and I love reading these because food gives people the opportunity for such pretension. Okay, this was goat cheese gâteau, tomato jam, buttermilk biscuit crumbles, young variegated lettuces. Would he have eaten any of that?
None of that.
Main course, rack of spring lamb.
I've asked about this. I've
Right.
inquired exactly this.
And he
question.
doesn't eat any of
He
this
has
stuff.
a burger before, they say.
He has a burger before.
Yeah.
Right, so he just pokes it.
Yeah.
Pokes at it. All right.
And
so,
remember, he's talking the whole time, of course.
Right. So for Macron, they entertained a main course, rack of spring lamb, burnt cipollini soubise, Carolina golden rice, jambalaya, with celery, peppers, onions, herbs from the South Lawn. That just feels like it would be too much for him. So he's eaten his burger and he can just talk. And poor Macron's probably trying to figure out how to talk back and eat a little bit.
Yeah, a sort of untold story is that actually the food in the White House is terrible.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's like made up food. It's, it's banquet food.
It's banquet food.
It's like going to a wedding.
Which is significant in terms of the poor East Wing still laying as a pile of rubble, because presumably it'll be banquet food when they get that up and running as a ballroom, won't it?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's always, it's American banquet food.
American banquet food. All right, so here's the dinner they had in honour of Scott Morrison in 2019, who was then, I think, Prime Minister of Australia. Starter, sunchoke ravioli under a lemon Parmigiano Reggiano sauce. Main course.
Now that sounds like, That would be, that's literally something that nobody is going to eat.
Nobody's going to eat. And also the main course is Dover sole with fennel mousseline and a rich hollandaise. So there's a lot of sauces going on. You go from cheese sauce to a rich hollandaise made with whipped cream. And also
Dover sole. Let's get
you don't
Dover
want mass-produced Dover sole.
Dover sole you gotta do on the bone, and then you gotta fillet it.
Right.
Obviously, they didn't do that. It is obviously not Dover sole.
Oh, interesting.
Some cheap, something.
Right. Okay. And then
Dover sole.
Dover sole. Right.
My
okay.
ass.
Okay. All right. So what is he eating? You think he's having steak for Thanksgiving? Oh, actually, you know what I found? I just want to do one more banquet.
I think he's having a hamburger for
He's
Thanksgiving.
having the hamburger because that's what he wants. Okay, so I wonder if he ate a hamburger before the famous dinner at Windsor Castle, when, of course, that very clever guerrilla team put on your face on the side of Windsor Castle and Jeffrey Epstein's face. I can't believe we got through an episode. I think we got through our last Tuesday's episode without mentioning the word Epstein once. Maybe that's not true.
What a loss.
Anyway, what a loss. But here's what the king served up, because it's always useful to know these things. If you're not invited to state dinners, this is what they're eating.
The Jeffrey Epstein food, we could digress, it was also terrible. There was a lot of it, and you always were offered anything you wanted.
Didn't Soon Yi Previn have to teach him how to cater?
I think that there was a story about that. Yes, but it was, I mean, he had a lot of the cooks, and in my experience, all private chefs are terrible, and the reason they're private chefs is that they can't get a job in a restaurant. But
I never thought of that.
But the food, no, the Epstein food was terrible, and Epstein was not interested in food. Epstein and Trump were, very much the same. Both, they didn't drink. They both.
Neither of them drank.
Yeah, they both would have preferred to revert to a hamburger, no matter what else might be available. All conversations took place around Jeffrey Epstein's dining room table, a dining room table which I would say comfortably would seat, 30. A very large
baronial-style table.
Yes, table. And then presumably there are not 30 people there, so everybody was sort of congregated down at the end. And as soon as you arrived, and people arrived from breakfast through till dinner, and when they come in, Jeffrey Epstein would say, "What do you want?" Because there was a chef always ready to respond, and that I've seen this many times. It would kind of catch people off guard. What do you want? Then he would say, "You want a quiche? You want an omelet? You want smoked salmon? You want?" And then he would list off a long list or anything. What do you want? And then faced with this, somebody would make the mistake of picking one. You just didn't, and unfortunately that meant everyone was, and there were always 6, 7, 8 more people there. And then suddenly you would be presented with a plate of food. No one else would be eating.
Oh no! So you were the sole eater.
Exactly. So there might be another lonely eater, but there were a number of people who would be there who would know don't take the food, because there's no. It's not as if lunch is being served.
Right.
It's this constant movable feast with you the only one having the feast, which was awkward. So you have to talk, and then suddenly your mouth is full.
No, that's terrible. You've got to eat with everybody else, otherwise it's a disaster. And I remember in your book, Too Famous, there's a chapter on Epstein where you talk about Ehud Barak, the former Israeli Prime Minister, arriving and demanding an egg with some caviar.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he turns down the omelet, and he says, "I've had too many. Your hospitality is measured in omelets."
What did he mean by that?
I'm going to pass on the omelet. It was always, you want an omelet.
Right.
It's like this kind of thing. But then he said, "But I would have some of that caviar." And then there was a whole thing about the caviar, and Epstein didn't like the caviar, and we only keep it for you, etc.
Okay. Well, when Donald Trump was in Windsor Castle. Here's what they had with the king for his most recent visit. The starter was Hampshire watercress panna cotta with parmesan shortbread and quail egg salad. Would he have eaten any of that?
Not a lick.
Okay, main course, organic Norfolk chicken ballotine wrapped in courgettes, zucchini to you, served with a thyme and savoury infused juice.
Who writes this stuff? There must be a menu writer, a universal banquet menu writer.
Well, I think this is what Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew, will now be eating. That now he's been banished to Norfolk. This is the kind of thing he'll be eating when he tiptoes into the kitchen at Sandringham. I don't think he's allowed into the main rooms at Sandringham, but he can stay in the below stairs. Dessert: vanilla ice cream bomb with a Kentish raspberry sorbet interior and lightly poached Victoria plums.
Oh, well, let's talk about the ice cream, because ice cream is a very important component of the Trump diet.
Go on.
So in 2016, still that moment when one would regard a Trump presidency as ridiculous at best, preposterous even. I interviewed Trump at his house in Beverly Hills and went into the house and he greeted me, and then he took me into the kitchen. He said, "Are you hungry?"
Had you had dinner beforehand or anything? I mean, you didn't interview him over dinner? You interviewed him at his house?
Yes, and it was after dinner. He had gone to a fundraiser. Where was at Tom Barrack's house.
Tom Barrack, now one of his ambassadors.
Yes, and a key advisor and friend, and really a mainstay of Trump's political career. A very mysterious person who we should come back to. And then he came back after that fundraiser, and he had actually said he hadn't eaten. I was at the fundraiser, I didn't eat. I'm hungry. Do you want anything? I said no, but he opened the refrigerator, and it was just filled with pints of vanilla Häagen-Dazs ice cream, like a library of...
Just solely vanilla?
Solely. There was nothing else in the refrigerator but this, probably...
Were there other refrigerators? Were you in the kitchen?
I was in the kitchen. I don't know if there were... I think it was a large refrigerator. I would say, I don't know how many pints, 30... I don't know. But he took one out. I'm trying to think. He took it. So I said, do you want anything? No. He took it, not listening to that, threw it to me. I caught it, thankfully. And then he took one for himself. And then opened the drawer to get a spoon. Then I had to get my own spoon. I didn't want the ice cream, but I had what was I going to do with it? And then we went out into the living room, and he took, in the kitchen, he took the top off.
The sort of plastic wrapper thing.
Yes, he took it off. And so he's eating out of that. And I did not take the top off. So I took it off there and put it on the thing. And then he said, "Don't put that there." Anyway, this is...
and did he eat the whole thing?
Every last bit of it.
That's a lot of sugar and a lot of cream.
Yeah. And then, on the campaign trail, that became people would tell me, but he had shifted. He went to strawberry vanilla, and it had to be that. And he always needed 2 quarts of it. 2 quarts, that's a lot.
Right, so that's 2 tubs of it.
In the mini fridge.
What's the mini fridge?
In the hotel. Because they were, so when they were on the road.
He always insisted on going back and sleeping in his own bed.
He did, but when they had to stay overnight, he had to have those 2 quarts of the strawberry vanilla.
Okay, so he basically eats McDonald's or burgers and vanilla ice cream and nothing else.
Yeah, and the Diet Coke, yeah. That's
right.
it.
I wish we had more details of what Melania eats.
Yeah, can't help you with that one.
Well, maybe you can ask.
Yes. Oh,
Ask Melania, what is your
Fantastic.
diet?
Even we can serve her in the deposition.
Yes, you can.
And we'll see what she takes.
Okay, that'll be interesting. That'll be very interesting. All right, well, Michael, we have Thanksgiving meals to get to. You have one to cook.
I do.
You have one to cook. I have one to unbox because mine's being catered and delivered to me, which I'm excited
From
about.
Jimmy John's, perhaps.
Who knows? I don't know where it's coming from. It's the first time I've ever let this happen, and I'm very excited. I will say I am excited to have someone else cook.
Sounds
for a
suspicious.
change.
This is the first time you've done this. You've cooked a Thanksgiving dinner
I-
your whole life, and then suddenly
Yeah,
you have a dinner arriving from you don't know where, and you're happy about it.
I'm very happy about it. And I will tell you, I'm going to push back on the one thing about private chefs, because at the risk of sounding super bougie, at deep times of stress in my life, I have had a private chef, and it is transformative because you don't have to think about food. And the exhaustion
I don't
of
think you like food. Here's my.
I love food.
I don't think so.
don't
first
think I
thing.
like food?
No, first thing, you're a Brit, so that's a whole different standard in food and a whole level of blandness that you can tolerate. Secondly, the truth is most people, don't like food, don't care about food. They can have, you've been going to restaurants so long, it all blends together.
Well, that's
Who
true.
cares?
That's true. And I will say I find it very stressful looking at a menu, and I'm conscious this is a very privileged conversation. I'm just saying I'm defending private chefs because on the occasions when I've had private chefs for periods of my life, I've found it such a relief because not to have to think about what you're feeding children is a huge relief.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that you've just defined what it is to have a spouse, for one thing. If I were your spouse, for instance, I would be cooking for you.
I've never had a spouse that cooks for me.
Well, but there's those are different questions. Someone who takes the responsibility and the worry of food from you.
Right.
That's different from what is good food.
True. Well, there are a lot of people watching now who I'm sure are feeling deeply stressed about having to cook their Thanksgiving for however many people. But maybe we'd all be happier with a burger.
Well, and I don't know why, because actually Thanksgiving is a very easy meal to cook.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you. And the English way to cook, my way of cooking, should anyone care, is just gas mark 5, throw everything in the oven, and eventually it comes out and it's done. Apart from the potatoes.
I rest my case.
Apart from the potatoes, which need to be cooked at a much higher heat. Anyway, it's the one thing I'll miss cooking this year. I still would give it all up to go to Mar-a-Lago for Thanksgiving. We have to smuggle ourselves in.
Well, no, you should go before this life ends to Mar-a-Lago. I mean, that really is something worth seeing.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't really describe it.
Okay,
It's
well,
just from a whole other age. I mean, it's not as if you get there and say, Mar-a-Lago, what
I've driven
what
around the
opulence,
outside of
quite
it.
the other thing, quite the opposite.
Because it's surprisingly small when you see it in real
it's
life.
small, but it's also kind of tacky in some old-fashioned way. They have these big kind of posters up. Join us for Hawaiian luau night,
Right. Oh, that's
Italian
interesting.
night.
Right.
So it's like an old-fashioned country club.
Well, it sounds like a kind of old upstate Catskill kind of hotel.
Well, and then he's kind of like the Catskills tumbler. He
Right.
greets everybody. Hope you had a great meal.
So he's the ringmaster. He's the MC.
The mother and daughter. I mean, I've heard him do this literally, I think, a half a dozen times in the several hours that I was with him. The mother, daughter, and then he says, so your sisters. It's
that
like
old one.
Oh my God.
Someone gave me a good line about Palm Beach the other day. They said people think they move to Palm Beach because they're old and they're rich, and then they get down there and they realize they are neither.
Yeah, no. God. Okay.
Okay, all right. Happy Thanksgiving.
I will see you
Next Tuesday.
very soon. But have a good holiday.
Thank you. And if you have been, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to leave a comment. You can leave your Thanksgiving menu. You can leave your thoughts on food. Are you a foodie? Are you not a foodie? Would you have eaten the meal at the state dinner at Windsor Castle? And would you recommend that Donald Trump has a food tester, in fact? Do you want to say thank you to our people? And let's thank our Beast tier of members who get extra content from us, and you get your name shouted out, and we would like more of you. Here you go. Leave us a comment on YouTube, and feel free to subscribe to the Daily Beast podcast wherever you get your podcast, because we're independent media and we love your support. We appreciate your support.
I'm not sure that we've dwelled enough on the fast food quality of this president and the time we live in.
Well, go on.
Is this? I mean, it's a fast food country.
Right.
Is this his, part of his, everybody says, what is the connection? Trump, how did this happen?
Is this his superpower?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one part of the thing, one part of the way he channels the nation.
And do you remember Barack Obama saying he had the same lunch every day because it meant fewer decisions, and that his snack in the evening was 8 almonds?
Yes, no, I'm sure Barack Obama has had, every time he has had a fast food meal, he has felt enormous guilt about it. Donald Trump has never felt guilt about a burger. That's heavy.
Okay, it's time. It's time to say goodbye.
Herbie, Andrew Mellor, Fulvia Orlando, Laz Conde, Sandra Clark, M. Griner, Bonzo, Val Love Francisco, Bobcock DC, Karen White.
It's Bocock DC. Poor Bobcock has written in to point out how we should pronounce their name. Bocock DC.
Heidi Riley, Connie Rutherford, Sharon Shipley, Andrea Hodel.
And thank you, of course, to our production team, Devon Rogerino, Anna von Urson, and Jessie Millward.